What is going on, you guys? Bastion YGO here, and today I'm coming at you with my cubic deck profile. It has been quite some time since I touched this deck, but I really want to go ahead and build it one more time for you guys. So essentially, the main basis as to why I wanted to build cubics is I really just wanted a fun OTK deck that was also all pretty much secret rares. So it's a beautiful deck to play, don't get me wrong, but it actually has a lot of power, mainly winning due to the immense burn damage you're going to be dealing and the massive monsters you are going to be summoning with this deck. But this deck is just a lot of fun, and is pretty much going to be an OTK style deck, a going second OTK style deck. Before, when you had cards like Monster Gate that were at 3, there's a possibility you might be able to grind a little bit longer, but you really, the way the deck is now, you really are going to want to maximize your potential and ability to go ahead and OTK your opponent as soon as possible. So without further ado, I want to go ahead and get right into it. So, starting things off with the monsters, guys. A cubic deck would not be complete without triple Duza, the Meteor Cubic Vessel. What Duza is going to allow you to do is basically, if this card is normal special summon, you can send a cubic card from your deck to the graveyard. So you either send one or two. You're either going to be sending your Cubic Karma, which I'll get to in just a little bit, or your unification of the Cubic Lords, which is going to be right over here for you. So these is going to be, both are fantastic extenders for you, but you do need them in the graveyard as well in order to maximize on their effects. Their on-field effects of pretty much all of the cubic spells and traps are subpar at best. Some can be pretty useful in more niche scenarios, but their graveyard effects is what they're good for, and this is why you need to maximize Duza in your main deck for that reason. Next, you play triple Vijam the Cubic Seed. Vijam the Cubic Seed is essential in not only stalling for more time, which can be destroyed by battle, which is nice, but also it helps distribute cubic counters, which when applied, monsters with cubic counters cannot attack also have their effects negated, which is extremely useful in stalling out in the event that you cannot OTK as well. So really good card also. Now, with Vijam, it's also important that you have to know to play multiple names of cubic cards in order to be able to summon out your Crimson Nova, the Dark Cubic Lord. So Crimson Nova, basically what he's really good for, this is going to be your main win condition. With this guy is a 3k beat 6-0 defense, but that's irrelevant. You're really just summoning this guy out to punch for big damage, and then it deals big damage at the end phase. This is during your end phase, each player takes 3,000 damage. So essentially you can go for the draw, in which case you would just summon out 3 of these guys and then just wait to the end your turn, then the end phase take all the damage, or you go ahead and punch with 2 of these guys, or just deal a little bit of damage and then wait to the end phase and then take both damage. As long as your opponent has 6,000 or less, you should win that duel. Next, to maximize on the cubic names, you play 1 Vulcan, the Dragny Cubic King, 1 Buster Gundle, 1 Indora, and then 1 Gairagul. So these guys are not really going to be seen too much as far as your on-field presence goes, though they have really good effects as well, especially Buster Gundle, and your way of not only burning opponents for damage, but also just applying a lot of pressure as well. But they're mainly going to be good because you do need 3 different cubic cards in your hand in order to summon out your cubic lord. So maximizing out on the diversity of your cubic cards helps out quite a bit as well. That's going to be it for the cubic monsters. As far as the supports, we play triple Summoner Monk. Summoner Monk is going to be the best normal summon in the entire deck. What it allows you to do is it allows you to send a spell from your hand to the graveyard, which I expressed how important that really is for the deck in order to maintain its flow. But not only that, of course, this Summoner Monk also allows you to go ahead and send a card like Cubic Karma to special summon something like a Duza, and then you can start link climbing from there with the cubic unification as well. So Summoner Monk is a fantastic card in this deck as well. And then for the last, we play triple Nibiru. This is a going second OTK deck, so if we can go ahead and Nibiru our opponent, we are doing just that. So get rid of the entire board, and you can get over the token extremely easily with this deck as well. and we'll get to that a little bit more when we get to the spells. For the spell lineup, guys, gonna start it off with triple cubic karma. Again, it is a fantastic card in the graveyard. Basically, what it allows you to do is banish it from the graveyard, and then you can add a cubic card or cubic monster from your deck to your hands. So it's like a King Long for the virtual worlds. I believe that's the name of the spell. I'm kind of forgetting this thing at this point, but also has a pretty decent on-field effect. When this card is activated, you can target a cubic monster you control, except Vijam the Cubic Seed. Send any number of Vijam Cubic Seeds from your hand and or deck to the graveyard. Then that monster gains 800 attack for each monster sent. So essentially, you could beef up any one of your monsters for 2400 attack in the event that you don't have a Vijam the Cubic Seed, but you have this. You can go ahead and get your Cubic Lord of 5400 attack just to deal additional damage. Aside from that, you are also going to be playing triple Cubic Wave. Cubic Wave is fantastic at distributing cubic counters, and after reading the Legion of the Cubic Seed effect, we really understand how important the cubic counters are. Cubic Wave is fantastic, being able to target multiple monsters your opponent controls and giving them that cubic counter, making them unable to attack and also negating their effects on the field. Next, you play 3 copies of the Cubic Dharma. Again, you really just want to go ahead and play as many cubic cards in your deck as possible. That way you always guarantee, or you should guarantee yourself 3 different cubic cards in your hand, so you can go ahead and summon out your Cubic Lord. But Cubic Dharma is actually fantastic for the consistency of this deck as well. You can send a cubic card from your hand to the graveyard, and if you do, you get to draw a card. So in the event that you have a card you don't need in your hand, or in the event you have a Cubic Karma in your hand, or a Cubic Wave, or a Cubic Unification in your hand, this helps you get rid of it as well. Also, you can banish a card from the graveyard to target a cubic monster in your graveyard and add it to your hand in the event that a card that you really need was sent off of something like a Reasoning, or perhaps a Monster Gate. Next, we play the Spice. We play triple Dark Hole, double Raigeki. If I had a third Raigeki, I'd be playing it instead of this Platinum Rare Dark Hole. But given that I only have 2 Raigeki, I'm playing this ratio. Now, if you want to go ahead and take out this Dark Hole, put in a Raigeki, I'm not going to go against you. But essentially, going second, it really doesn't matter because you shouldn't have any monsters on the field anyway. But if you want to play 3 and 3, that's also something that I would consider as well. Again, I only have 2 Raigeki though. Next, we play double Foolish Burial Goods. Foolish Burial Goods is fantastic in this deck because it is able to send all of your cubic spells and traps to the graveyard, so you can go ahead and engage their better effects. We play 1 copy of the Monster Gate, which was limited in the most recent Forbidden Limited list, 1 copy of Reasoning, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, and then 1 copy of Pot of Extravagance. Breaking in this deck is something that does happen it can happen quite often, so you really want to minimize the brick cards in this deck. Running multiple of Extravagance is really not going to help you. Yes, there's most likeliness that you will see it more often, but in the event that you have 2 of these in your hand, you have a dead card in your hand, and it's really not helping you progress your game state, as cards that you want to discard to gain other effects are you want to go ahead and discard cubic cards and not necessarily useless cards that aren't going to help you progress. If you happen to draw this in your opening hand, then you are good to go and you have a fantastic way to go ahead and continue on to your plays, but just 1 Extravagance is fine for now. Harpy's Feather Duster, it just does what it does, gets rid of all your opponent's back row. Reasoning is fantastic. Even if a card goes to the grave, you're perfectly fine. It still fuels your graveyard with a whole bunch of spells and traps, which again is really useful as well. Same thing for Monster Gate. A shame this thing got hit, because when this card was at 3, Cubics was actually really consistent. But unfortunately, Monster Gate to 1, and that's what we got for now. And that's gonna be it for the spells, guys. Next for the traps. Now for the traps, we want to get it be just as simple as possible. We play triple Unification of the Cubic Lords, and that's it. There's really no need to get any fancier than this. I mean, essentially, Unification of Cubic Lords does everything that the deck really needs. Not only is it your fusion card to help you fusion summon into your boss monster, your extra deck boss monster, but if a cubic monster is destroyed by battle or leaves the field, you can banish this card from your graveyard and special summon 1 level 4 or lower cubic monster from your hand or deck. ignoring its summoning conditions. So this lets you put, again, more pressure on the board, more monsters on the board, and unification actually helps you link climb as well. Say that you want to go ahead and use one of your summoner monks, and then you use it to summon out a Duza from the deck. You link these two off. First of all, you activate Duza effect to send unification to the graveyard, and then you link with these two, and then unification is going to go ahead and kick in because this cubic card left the field. Unification activates to banish the special summon a level 4 lower cubic monster from the deck, and guess what? Duza is not once per turn, so you summon another one, send another unification, link with this and the link monster again. Unification will activate because a Duza or a cubic is leaving the field, and then you do it all over again, special summon the Duza, and then link with the other link monster that you just summoned as well to send another unification, and then you go off from there. So that is going to be it for the main deck, guys. Go ahead and get right into the extra deck. For the extra deck, we play one Link Karibo with the V-Jam the Cubic Seed. This is pretty much essential. It's really good card as well in the event that you do Brick. Relinquished Anima to take control of your opponent's monsters. Also really cool card. IP Masquerena, again, your extra deck is really just to help you in the event that your opponent hand traps you or just you don't get to extend as far as you would like. So one IP Masquerena, of course, then you play that with the Nightmare package. Cerberus, Phoenix, Unicorn to go ahead and get rid of anything that might come in your way. One Topologic Bomber Dragon. Topologic Bomber Dragon is actually really crazy in this deck. So basically it's super easy to summon with that combo I showed earlier with the Duza and the Summoner Monk. So go ahead and special summon this guy out, and then you can activate the Cubic Lord's effect. Where is he? You can actually summon Crimson Nova to one of the zones this guy points to and blow up your opponent's board. This guy is unaffected by other monsters' activated effects whose original attack is 3,000 or less. So really it can only be affected by monsters with 3,100 attack. This is 3,000, so you're good to go. This won't get blown up, and you punch your opponent in the face for 6,000, and then you end your turn. During the end phase, he burns for 3,000 as well, and then you're good to go. Next, no OTK Link deck would be complete without good old Borosword Dragon, or Access Code Talker as well would be a really good addition as well. But Borosword, I think it's extremely good, consistent, and you don't need to get too fancy with it just to go ahead and OTK with it. I think Borosword is really good. However, if you do have an Access Code Talker, I would probably play that instead of Borosword. That's going to be it for the links. Now on to the XCs. We play one Abyss Dweller, one Exciton Knight, one number 41 Baguska, one number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Super Dora, and then one Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon Gustav Max for the XCs. Again, burn damage. You can sit on these guys. You can sit on Abyss Dweller. It's extremely powerful. Probably the best XCs monster in the current format, excluding AA Zeus as well. And then Exciton Knight just to get cute with it as well. And then for the last two monsters in your extra deck, you play double of your Crimson Nova. Really, you want to play just one of these, so you can take out one of these in the event that you want to play something else, but you want to have two in the event that one of these gets banished off of the Pot of Extravagance. And I really don't have the space to take out any other cards for a third one in the event that I wanted to, but this card is just absolutely nuts, and you get to summon it. It's a 4,500 beater, and you can only summon it with 3 Crimson Nova Dark Cubic Lords. This card cannot be targeted or destroyed by your opponent's card effects, and when it declares an attack, have your opponent's life points. Just by declaring an attack with this card is already absolutely nuts. A 4,500 beater, and you really just can't beat over that. This is probably the most fun OTK deck out there at this moment. But that is going to be it for my cubic deck profile, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section down below. How are you guys playing cubics, or are you playing cubics at all? And for those of you guys who maybe have just watched the movie Dark Side of the Dimensions and really want to go ahead and just get your first-hand experience of Yu-Gi-Oh, things like that. This is a really cool deck to play. It is a beautiful deck to play, as well as pretty much every single card comes out as a secret rare, so it's going to be really nice. You're going to have a real blingy deck on you. And yeah, let me know how that turns out. So if you guys have any questions about how this deck works, leave them down in the comment section down below. Let me know how you guys play Cubics. If you play Cubics, leave a like. If you guys did enjoy, subscribe for more, and I will go ahead and see you guys in the next one.